Hello everyone, welcome back to GhostPrime Transformers Reviews. In this video, I'll be taking a look at Kingdom Deluxe Class Huffer. Now finally we get a good version of this character. He looks pretty damn good. Now he was featured predominantly in the first season of the Generation 1 cartoon, a lot in the UK comics, and a bit in the domestic comics as well. This is the best looking version of this figure that we have gotten in a mainline. I think he's damn good. So without any further ado, let's get to the review. Okay, firstly, let's just take a quick look at the packaging here. As you can see, he has another one of these beautiful renditions of the character on the side and on the front. These Kingdom ones are super nice. Again, with the Kingdom logo art, and then there's the back. The back does depict a CG rendered version of the character. Now, there are some definite color differences here, like with the feet. If you notice, these are orange. On the toy, it's actually gray. His hands here are silver, but on the toy, they're black. These color changes probably happened in production, maybe with the sprue, who knows. Top, logo, Autobot, bottom's not important. I did get a card this time. We got a Predacon Dinobot. I believe I've had this one already, which I wish these were unique. That would be a little extra incentive to getting each figure. Unfortunately, they are random. The instructions are nice and clear. The green, this is something that I like. I'm glad that they make them really nice and really clear for this Kingdom line. Not that I use them too much, but I definitely like them clear because they're not always clear. Being a short deluxe, he does come with two accessories. One is a pistol, which is actually painted over orange plastic, and a shield or scraper or punching arm, again with a lot of paint on it. All right, let's get in close at the figure here real quick. The audio is going to sound a little weird because I'm recording this actually later. Now, this guy actually looks fantastic. He's got wonderful paint. I love the chest paint. Everything looks really good. He looks fantastic. Now, one of the things that I really don't like is this here back here, this hollow part. I think they could have done something a little better with it. I'm not really sure why they could have had a flap or something, something to add there to make it less hollow. This little piece right here that was orange on the back, it doesn't look too bad from the front, but you could really notice that it's gray from the side. It actually looks pretty good in vehicle mode too. Otherwise though, I really like the figure. I think it's a really good looking, very decent figure. I love how just beefy this guy looks. Let me move the camera real quick here and get in just a little closer at him. Wonderful head sculpt. Look at his metallic blue paint on the eyes. Super nice looking head sculpt here, and paint. He's got a bunch of different colors for paint on him, which is very welcome. I appreciate the attention to detail in this guy. I love that he's got this beautiful characterization, that he just looks very beefy. He has a almost heroic, rather than the Generation 1 cartoon where he was sort of skinny and small, a lot like the Generation 1. But I really like this character design of him. Of course, he does have his weapons that I showed you before, so you could put his claw arm or shield or whatever it be right there. And his gun, go right in his hand. You can arm him up. Pose him however you'd like, make him look really cool. So he does look quite good. This shield accessory is all right. Not terrible. If you don't want it on the arm, you could kind of peg it in the back a little bit. Kind of hangs off the back like that. I mean, that's not too terrible. You're not really going to see it. I just set it aside. This piece here doesn't quite snap in, but it's not super loose either. You can kind of push it in like this, but then it kind of impedes a little bit. And that snaps in a little better, but it hits the arms. So what I do is I like it kind of just like that. But that is a personal preference. All right, so getting into comparisons. First, let's compare him to his Generation 1 character right here. Now, as you can see, you can really tell where he has this more beefy appearance than in the cartoon, because the cartoon has him very thin, and you could really tell the difference here between the two. This is a very good characterization, but it still retains a lot of those the colors and everything from the cartoon. So it does take a lot, like the head is very close. Very, very good. Moving on from the Generation 1 cartoon, we actually have the Generation 1 character himself. So, as you can see, again, they look very good together. Definitely, you can absolutely tell that that is an updated version of Huffer. Since he is a mini, let's see how he compares with Bumblebee. So he is a good bit taller and beefier than Bumblebee, I guess, as he should be for a truck. Overall, I think, looks decent. Yeah, I don't really have a lot to say. I mean, I think they look good together. And here he is with a smaller Deluxe Wheeljack. So he is in between that Minibot Deluxe, so he's kind of partly in between. But he definitely counts as a Deluxe. And here he is with Optimus Prime. Let's move this camera up a little bit so you get a good view. So I think they scale pretty nice together. I think they do look really good. Honestly, I really like this robot mode. I think that it looks really good, very decent. The fists, I kind of would like silver, but more on that later. I think it looks damn good. Okay, transformation on him is actually fairly simple. First off, what you're going to want to do is you want to take his arms, move them back like this, turn his head around, then take the whole chest, move it forward. It is on a hinge right here. It's not a hard thing to do. And then take the arm pieces here, move them out like that. So you have something like this. Let's kind of move them away a little bit. And make sure they're completely flat. Move the tire pieces here on the inside to the outside. This is the only part I really have some trouble with. Let's move his arms all the way so you get it like that. Move his tires out. These form the back half of the wheel wells. And then take the front part of the cab, kind of put it together, move it forward. I can move back actually, like that. So what we have here is there's a slot here that you kind of got to move it like this, put it in that slot, and you can do it on both sides. You see a peg and a slot hole right there, and you just kind of move that in and just kind of slot that together. Take his waist folds all the way around. There's actually another peg hole in the bottom that will peg in. Take his... Actually, I take that back. You don't do this. You just keep it this way. Now peg that like that. Then move his legs. Oh, man. Simple transformation, and I messed it up on camera. But that's okay. That's how these things go. Take his hands. Move them in. This is the one part I don't like. I don't like seeing his hands there. This is probably why they changed them black to black from silver, so they didn't stand out as much. I don't see why they couldn't have just made them fold all the way. Maybe the elbow, maybe they could have done something different with this, maybe collapse them a little bit more. I think there was something more there that they could have done. Now here's partly transformed. It is kind of weird. Let's get down in there so you can see it. So he looks like he's sagging in the middle. And everybody that I've talked to who has theirs is like this. Oops, but that wasn't all the way in. But still, it's sagging. He looks like he's, and you kind of get him straight like that, which you could do, but then that unpegs the pegs in the back. So there's these two little pegs that are just tiny ones that peg right into there. And you can kind of keep them unpegged and kind of make it straight like this, which looks good, but that's how it goes. That's how it's supposed to go. So looks like the tolerances there just aren't quite right. But you could sit it and kind of get it like that, and it rolls pretty well. One of the interesting things it actually does do, let's get that closer here, is with his gun. And you could take his gun and pull it apart like this. That's pretty cool. And you take his little shield piece there and kind of peg it in right there. And you take this little slot right there and a peg right there. So it's peg right there, and so it goes like this. And you take these like that. Put that on either side. And it sort of makes a bed for him. He actually looks pretty good like this. If maybe they had to fluff it up, but actually I think it definitely benefits the figure. Overall though, the paint detail work on it's pretty good. It's got silver on the front. It's got a nice translucent blue for the window there, which actually does a really good job of making it look like a truck. And, you know, not even mad about it. It looks pretty good. Some painted taillights. So it does have a good amount of different colored paint on him. It's surprising. No Autobot logo actually shows up when he's in this mode either. So one thing he can do, as seen in the Generation 1 cartoon, he does have a fifth wheel here molded into the skid plates on the back. And he can pull Prime's trailer. So you can recreate when Prime got injured in the Generation 1 cartoon. And for comparison, we'll start out with his Generation 1 self. As you can see, really good likeness. Adds a couple, let me actually get in a couple paint details to some of the detail that was on the original Generation 1 that just wasn't painted, like the bumper and looks like 4 headlights that are on the Generation 1. They actually that are present on this one, along with the lights on the top. There he is to the side, back, side again. Here he is next to Wheeljack. How they compare. It's actually, I'd say that's a pretty decent, I mean, of course this would be a lot bigger, but it's somewhat believable. So despite some small flaws, this guy is actually very good. I do wish that he had maybe a little different feet here. He does have some hollow legs. Not the best articulation. Overall though, he hits all the marks where they should be hit. You know there's going to be that inevitable repaint into Pipes. And I kind of hope they do a lot of retooling on him for Pipes, because Pipes deserves it. Pipes is another character that has been unloved in the figure line for a very long time. But overall, this one is very good. And if you see him, I definitely recommend picking him up. So please, smash that thumbs up button. Hit the thumbs down vote button if you have to. Subscribe. I'll see you guys later.